single in the first. Watch out.
Look at this. Upton pops it up. Left side, Elvis Andrus is backpedaling. He is under it. He puts it away. The Texas Rangers have won a postseason series.
The Texas Rangers are American League champions.
And welcome to another edition of Right on Rangers Live, coming at you top of the 8th inning. We're going to hang out for a couple with you tonight, man. Normally I'm slacking a little bit. You know, I've been getting a little bit off track of what normally I'll do. Usually this is the standard, but I feel like this season, for whatever reason, 9th inning has been what I'm doing. But we're going to do last two here. I like it. It'll give us at least one Rangers AB. Man, I'm sad I missed that Alejandro Osuna double with y'all. I mean, I saw it. I watched it live. But I would have loved to have been here with you celebrating an extra base hit. Thought that dude couldn't slug, man. Thought he had no slug. Double. Gap shot. Hey, look, least he could do after the struggle bus bunt that he was trying to do earlier, man. Like, that was painful. That was ugly. I called that out right away. Look, I try not to be biased as much as I possibly can. Y'all know I love my boy Osuna, but shoot, that was ugly. I'm glad he atoned for that 3-strike bunt, especially, man, bunting with 0-2. Don't know if that was Skip. Don't know if that was Alejandro, but I'm glad that we can erase that a little bit from the memory bank. Osuna with a big 2 insurance runs here. It's been a fun night. I totally agree. Been a really fun night. You guys know these are so much more enjoyable. Look, I'll knock on wood. There's 2 innings of baseball left, but so much more enjoyable talking about good offense. Regardless, Eovaldi clearly shoved today. We know this. Nate, what's good, man? This is appropriate. Nate with the comment on Nasty Nate. Comment says he was big tonight. Big game tonight. 100%. He really brought it. And I told you guys, this was, I don't want to say a legacy game, but this was a huge game for Nathan Eovaldi. And I feel the same way about DeGrom. I feel like this is a big game coming up for Jacob DeGrom as well. By the way, Robbie Ahlstrom in the game, getting 2 quick outs here. We'll continue to bring you a little play-by-play along with the analysis and color commentary. Speaking of color commentary, man, AJ Pierzynski is on fire today, man. I know AJ's a little polarizing. Clearly, former Ranger. I got a special place for him, but they are a little out of pocket today with the boomstick stuff. And AJ's honestly bringing it with the analysis, man. They did a Wyatt Langford swing breakdown. How has Wyatt really gone on this heater? How has Wyatt really turned the season around after the injury? I thought that was outstanding. He had some good commentary on the bunt situation with Osuna. I feel like AJ's done a great job today. Look, I don't dislike Baksick. I can't say that, Dave and Mike are my most favorite guys to listen to, if I'm just being honest, but man, this was good stuff tonight. Really feel like the booth was on one in a good way. Now let's get back to the original point here. DeGrom, Eovaldi, they need to show up. They've been off and on pretty much all season. Not terrible, but not the dominant aces that you're paying for. I really felt like this is where they shine. Big stage, you need wins against Seattle. Trade deadline looming. Look, let's be honest. I mean, DeGrom and Eovaldi, the fate, let me just zoom in a little bit there. Maybe too much, my bad. the fate of the team is in some of the starting pitchers' hands in this series, man. Look, DeGrom and Eovaldi pitching well is the difference between certain players staying and certain players leaving. So I'm definitely of the mindset. Biggest games of the season for these two right now. Yeah, definitely good on offense. Let me zoom out just a little bit for all y'all. There you go. That's much better. Good offense tonight, though, no doubt. Look, we can give Evo a ton of love. I mean, look, 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 walk. I mean, this dude's dominant tonight. It looks like the Evo of old. ERA down to 4.05, 8 strikeouts, had a number of different pitches working. The split he was on today. I think we got to start with Nasty Nate, but I mean, look, you go to the box score, you got Langford, Pederson, and you got Duran, 8 hits between the 3 of them, 8 combined hits. 7-1 win tonight, your grandma said. Hey, prayers up for your grandma, Hayden. Absolutely, brother. That's quite the prediction, though. My goodness. I almost don't want things to change. I mean, I'm not going to be upset if the Rangers want to make this a double-digit affair, but that is pretty wild. That is awesome. Let's go. What do we got on the comments section here? The boomstick that got destroyed. Yeah, that whole boomstick back and forth had me rolling. Y'all. I can't. AJ's good, man. I'm an AJ fan. I know AJ is not everybody's cup of tea. I like AJ. Dude just kind of tells it like it is. He's just a hard-nosed ball player. You know, of course, I enjoyed his time with the Rangers. It's just, I thought that they have done a great job overall tonight. I really do. Let's go. Winning on national TV on Fox. Let's clarify. I think we've won a couple games on ESPN. The Fox games were wild. Langford precautionary. Don't worry. He'll go on the IL in a few days. Yeah, I'm not thinking we're going to see Wyatt tomorrow. Y'all. Let's just mentally prepare. Let's mentally prepare. We are most likely not going to be seeing Wyatt tomorrow, unfortunately. I wish I was wrong. We all kind of called the Josh Young stuff. Look, I posted yesterday. I said Josh Smith is on a flight to Arlington right about now. I had no information, but I knew when we got the news that Josh Young could only run at 50%. I told you guys this last night. I'm like, if Josh Young could only run at 50% when they tested it out yesterday, did anyone really think he was going to wake up today on Saturday and feel like $1 million? Like, it was a no doubter that JJ was going to the IL. Absolute no doubter as Austin Wynns gets his first big hit. Not big league hit, but his first hit as a Ranger. Good for him. I definitely thought writing was on the wall when they reported JJ only 50% running yesterday. I mean, yeah, that's just not good. And calf injuries, y'all, just so delicate. It's so finicky. I definitely feel like, it could be a 10-day. It could be a little bit longer than that. Man, you hope Josh doesn't lose that timing and lose that rhythm that he had up at the dish, because he has been good. He's been so good up at the plate. Keep going. Yeah, I mean, look, Orange fan, I'll give it to Wyatt. This is definitely one of those bad luck things, but yeah, he's definitely one of those dudes just having a tough time, bad luck, circumstance, whatever. Tough time staying healthy. Team is scrappy and the most fun team to watch since 2023. I'd probably agree, although, Ethan, if we're being honest, the bar was not super high after 24 and 25. God bless the 24 and 25 teams. The bar was not super high when we're talking about most scrappy and most fun. Juan Soto just went on the IL for a calf for 10 days. There you go. I mean, look, calf injuries are no joke. I mean, it's like it's like kind of like back injuries in not quite in the same way, obviously, with, pain, mobility, all that stuff. But you just don't realize how important your calves are when you're walking, running, shifting. Same thing with your back. You don't realize how much stuff you do with your back. I mean, like, it is definitely one of those injuries not to mess around with. That is for sure. What's up with Bryan Woo today? Woo, I think is really struggling with lefties. They talked about it on the broadcast today. The numbers, the splits that Bryan Woo has lefty righty is just incredible. It really is. I can't remember the numbers. It's like a 200-point difference. And so that's why Skip loads up on lefties today. And man, I thought that was the right call. Loaded up on the lefties, and it worked out beautifully. The worst thing Skip did today was, I think, the Osuna bunt situation. Beyond that, that's just me being picky. I think Skip had a great lineup. I like really everything that I'm seeing today, understanding that Bryan Woo really has a tough time against left-handers this year for whatever reason. And yeah, Sean, what's good, man? Yeah, appreciate you. Woo has not been great on the road either. So, look, kind of a nightmare scenario for Woo. Cam Cauley, by the way, grounds out, inning over, top of the ninth incoming. Yeah, Bryan Woo has not been good on the road, hasn't been good against lefties. Look, I think that it's kind of a perfect storm for him today. I mean, look, if you're a Mariners fan, this dude was an all-star last year. I know Mariners fans have got to be frustrated with this guy. He seems like an awesome dude. I've heard him give interviews. I've definitely followed him around a little bit as much as I can. He seems like a good dude. I'm sorry. Sorry to see that he's struggling, but not against my Rangers. Like, I don't know about you guys. There are definitely guys I root for around the league. I forget what interview I saw Bryan Woo do, but I was like, I like this dude. He seems like just a genuine good guy. But obviously, I'm not sad watching my Rangers crush him. But look, if you're a Mariners fan, I'm sure you're frustrated with him. I mean, look, as Texas fans, we've had our own issues with DeGrom and Eovaldi. I know Evo is looking like a Cy Young winner tonight, but man, Evo's had some ups and downs this year. It looks like Bryan Woo is kind of in the same boat. Jacob DeGrom, same thing. We keep going. Appreciate all the comments tonight. We're going to keep on rolling through. If I missed something, forgive me. Dan is missing in action right now. Hey, Silky, what's good? Thanks for the comment. This one had me dying. We love Dan. Look, I have no ill will. Dan is definitely he's definitely keeping the chat alive. That is for sure. Most days. God bless him. God bless him. Look, somebody's got to keep the conversation going. I'll say that. It is a little quieter without Dan. He's gonna be here, I bet, by the end of the show, though. Oh, shoot. Gotta laugh sometimes, don't we? What do we got? Send Robbie back out for the ninth. What are they doing? Is it? It's Peoples for the ninth. Okay, it's Peoples. I wouldn't have minded that, Lord Tubbington. Appreciate you, man. Good to see you. I wouldn't have minded Alstrom for 2. Peoples, though, I mean, I don't know what they're quite doing with Peoples at this point, but I will say I'm liking what I'm seeing from him so far. It feels like if he can continue to do this, you're going to see him in maybe a little bit higher leverage, not crazy, but I think you might upgrade this guy to maybe a 7th inning bridger. I could see it. Let's see what he does right now. I definitely agree with you here, Blake. Good to see you, my guy. Nice to give the leverage guys the night off for sure. I was kind of curious. Was Skip going to go with somebody here? Is he going to throw, Junis or get Latsy up if things get dicey? I hope that he rolls with Peoples. And then, worst case scenario, you've got a couple of other dudes you can go to. But, man, I'd like to see them avoid using anyone of value today. J-Rod retired quickly. Peoples off to a good start here in the top of the ninth inning. ERA for Peoples lowered now to 270. Let's keep things going. Canzone up to bat, 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Let's see. What did I miss over here? losing Maddox, did it mess up our star aces? I definitely feel like it played a part. I think the Mike Maddox effect has been felt. I think guys are adjusting. I don't think Jordan Teagues is bad. Now, look, before the Leiter injury, I had a slightly different perspective. Then we kind of find out that the injury is probably affecting Leiter's performance a little bit. I'm undecided on Teagues. I will say that. I am a little undecided on Teagues. I think you've seen Jack Leiter take a little dip this year. Okay, injury, maybe we give a little bit of an excuse there. The Mackenzie Gore thing, who do you blame that on? I mean, look, maybe CY for making the trade, but I will say the Gore regression this year, I think you got to ask. I'm not blaming Teagues exclusively, but what the heck happened? Mackenzie Gore was an all-star last year. Mackenzie Gore for the Nationals had probably 4 good months of baseball, 4 above average months of baseball. Kind of got into injury issues in August and September. Swolger, I am with you, man. I'm with you. Like, what would Mike Maddox have done with Mackenzie Gore? That is something I would have liked to have seen. I really feel like Mike Maddox has a way. Look what he did with dude out there in, I wanted to say Andrew Heaney, Angels guy. Why am I blanking on this? Soriano. Y'all help me out. I'm blanking. I need my 5th cup of coffee, I guess. Soriano, but the lefty. The lefty that they have. Help me out here. Who's that lefty that they had that dominated us? Like had 14 strikeouts. Detmers. Going crazy. Frankie. Dub, baby. Yeah, look. What he did with Detmers, I mean, I know Detmers is faded a little bit, but still, I feel like he's got Reed Detmers pitching a little bit above his weight class right now. I feel like Gore and Maddox would have been a really good combo. I'm not saying Jordan Teague sucks or he's terrible, but I often do find myself wondering, what would Mike have done with some of these young pitchers? Gore, another year of Rocker, another year of Leiter. I would have liked to have seen it. Yeah, look, Shirley, what's good? Appreciate you hanging out. I mean, look, the game definitely is never out of reach sometimes. With the Rangers bullpen of late, all the rookies they have, it can get interesting quick, but they did a nice job tonight. Alejandro Osuna provides a nice 2-run double for insurance. Still 2 games left in the series. Y'all, I'm telling you, I'm not getting overly cocky or confident. Clearly, you win the first couple of games in a 4-game set, you're feeling pretty good about winning the series. I am going to continue to say, if the Rangers are not able to get a win the next 2 days, I don't think you panic. I know this might be an unpopular opinion. I know that there's some fans starting to get those expectations through the roof. We got to split. You are going to leave this series in first place regardless, based on what happened tonight. Naylor up to bat right now. Here's the pitch from Peoples. Swinging a ground ball. Joc, excuse me. That's right. Joc's got it. Takes it unassisted. Cue the I Like Texas music. The Rangers secure a series split. They win their 2nd game in a row. Outstanding performance from Nitro tonight. Nathan Eovaldi, 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 walk, 8 Ks, 1 earned run. And you had the Rangers offense coming to life. Joc Pederson, Wyatt Langford, Ezequiel Duran combined for 8 total hits. Alejandro Osuna adds a RBI double in the 7th inning to put the game fully out of reach. The Rangers now improved to 2.5 games above the Mariners. Still just 2 games above the Astros. Mariners fall into 3rd place. Wow. AL West tightening up a little bit. It's getting interesting, that's for sure. Rangers have a big opportunity to put some distance between themselves and Seattle in this series over the next 2 days. I'm telling you, I'm going to be just fine from here on out in this series, regardless of what happens. You're not going to see me glooming and dooming if the Rangers aren't able to get it done the next couple of days. Do I think 1 out of 2 is very reasonable and should happen? Yes. Is the sky falling if the Rangers drop the next 2? Absolutely not. You're still in first place. You're going to be in first place even if Houston wins the next 2 games and we lose the next 2. I think technically they would be above with the tiebreaker and all that stuff, but nevertheless, you're in a playoff spot. You're tied for a playoff spot regardless of what happens over the next 2 days. Now, with DeGrom pitching, I will admit there's a little bit of an extra, you should win a DeGrom game. You should win a DeGrom game. You should win this series 3 out of 4 games. Like I said, I'd love to get to 3 wins tomorrow because George Kirby worries me on Monday. Kirby has been excellent against the Rangers. I'm not saying they can't win a game. This has been a weird team. They win the games you think they should lose. They lose the games that you think they should win. Maybe that's true when it comes to George Kirby on Monday. I don't want the Rangers to chance it. Win tomorrow, and then you're playing with house money from there on out. I mean, that to me would be the beautiful thing. I really feel like 3 out of 4 is attainable. Again, if it doesn't happen, it's okay. Not ideal, but it's okay. I don't think that we need to start the fire sale chance. I don't think we need to make any determination on the season. You split this series, that to me is bare minimum. Now, you can go above bare minimum, but bare minimum would split the series. It's not a failure to split. I just can't see it that way. We can agree to disagree on that. I can't see it that way. Johnny, I want 4 out of 4 too. Don't get it twisted. I want 4 out of 4, 100%. I mean, look, you know this. You know this. But I want to frame the perspective here. 2 out of 4 coming into this series. If you would have told me they're going to split with the Mariners in this 4-game set, I would have said, makes sense. Makes sense. This team's a 500 team, man. I know they're a couple games above it now, but if you would have told me Rangers are going to split this series, I would have said that sounds just about right. That sounds perfect. That sounds exactly like what has happened all year. But man, if we can get 4 out of 4, it does make things just super interesting with the trade deadline, with the division. I mean, you're almost certainly buying if you sweep this series. I mean, look, you could melt down against the Rays and the Astros, and now it's getting interesting once again the other way. I can't see that happening. I don't know that Texas is going to go into Tampa Bay and crush it. I don't know that they're going to go into Houston and crush it. I do know they're probably going to win a few games in that mix. As I said, the Rangers are a 500 team. I think at minimum, they're probably going to win 3 out of those 6 games, if I had to guess. In what combination, I don't know, but I would imagine next week, Rays, Astros, the Rangers are probably going to win 3 out of 6 games. Would it shock me if they went 2-4? No, but I think at minimum, they're going to go 3-3 in those 6 games. Then that's fine with me too. That's fine with me too. And if they do that, they're definitely still buying. You would have to go like 1-5 or 0-6 to not be buying at the deadline. I mean, it's just a numbers game at that point. The crazy thing is they have flashes of being a really good team. Well, that's what we've been saying, all year, Blake. I mean, it's a good comment for sure. This team will win a game like this, right? 7-1. You're like, oh, this is beautiful. It's like a complete game. The bullpen looking great. Nasty Nate giving you Cy Young type performances, and the offense is crushing. And then the next game they lose 10-0. That has been this team. That's why the run differential is negative. That's why the expected record is below 500. It's just a weird team, man. They look so good, and then they crap the bed. It's just consistency at this point. It's consistency. We keep going. Appreciate all you guys. Let's see. I can see the Rangers sweeping all 4 games because reasons. Yes, sir. Love reasons. Always helpful analysis. Always. Oh, man. Fun game today. I know we've already talked about the big performances, but just needed. Like, you had Evo on the mound. You really had an extra expectation today that you were going to go in and win a ball game. It is DeGrom Day tomorrow, just so we're clear on that. So even more of a reason why I'm putting some pressure on tomorrow. You know, they don't win tomorrow. I'm not going to say automatic L on Monday, but I don't feel great about Monday. And I've been very vocal about that all series. Monday, by the way, you know, you're throwing Kumar Rocker. Rock has not been terrible this year, but he's been a bit of a mixed bag, especially at home. Kumar Rocker has been worse at home this year than on the road, which is the exact opposite of what it was last year. I don't want to leave it up to Monday. You take tomorrow, and then you're playing with house money on Monday against Kirby and with Kumar on the bump. I'm saying Rangers sweep. I would love to see it. I think they win 3 out of 4. I'll be okay if they don't do anything the rest of the series. I'll be okay. I want to see 3 out of 4. I would be over the moon with the sweep. Carter has been pretty good this past month. Look, Evan had a beautiful at-bat early on in that game. He went down 0-2 to Woo, and you just saw him stay compact with the swing and just do with the pitch exactly what he was given. You know, he just gives that nice opposite field, inside-out swing, lines it down the left field line for the double. I loved that Evan Carter at bat. And clearly, the longtime listeners, longtime followers, you guys know we've been hard on Evan this year. And rightfully so. The dude's hitting below 200. I think if you even asked Evan, he would say, yeah, this isn't my best year. I haven't been awesome this year. I think we need to be real about that sometimes. Let's just say things out loud. The guy's hitting $190. That's not ideal for a former top prospect and a guy that you expected big things out of this year. I think this was the year they really hyped it up. We're going to give Evan every day at bats against lefties. Evan had some expectations coming into this year. He hasn't met them yet. That doesn't mean he's not a valuable player, but he hasn't met those expectations yet. He has had a nice month of baseball. I will agree with that. And let's look at the numbers to kind of back this up, right? We don't just want to throw things out there in the air and lo and behold, it's something exactly opposite. Ultimate truth serum here. Evan, over his last 15 games, is giving you, I would say, just about league average OBP, right? He is at a 7, let's do the fast math here, 739 OPS. Excuse me if I said OBP earlier. 739 OPS over his last 15 games. Over his last 7 games, he is at an 852 OPS. So I would say it's really probably more the last week over the last month. Last month, he is, I believe, under 700 for the OPS. So I don't know if I would extend it quite out to a month. I would probably say, though, the last week has been very solid for Evan Carter. Very solid. 4 walks in your last 7 games. That plays. It's just good stuff, man. We're going to miss the Skip interview post-game because it's the Fox broadcast, but definitely give some props to Evan Carter. 2 walks, had a double, had the fly out. You're on base 3 out of 4 times. You'll take that. Definitely you'll take that. We'll keep going here. Let's see. What am I missing? If this team can ever get Langford, Young, and Seager healthy, nobody is going to want to see us in October. I mean, last year, I remember saying so many times, I think this team, if you are faced with a healthy version of them in October, look out, right? You've got DeGrom, you've got Eovaldi. Clearly, there's another year on the wheels, on the tires at this point for both those pitchers. But if you can get DeGrom and Eovaldi back to typical, they've been a little up and down this year. If you can get them locked in October, it's a deadly 1-2 punch. I'm a little worried. We talked about this. I'm a little worried about game 3 But that game 1 and game 2, it is a deadly 1-2 punch plus the offense. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. First thing I thought when Duran made that play at third base was Young would have missed or bobbled that ball. Look, JJ has been great with the bat, not great with the glove. I mean, we've definitely established that. And I think the same things. I want to try not to be too negative after a win. Clearly, we're going to break things down on both sides, good and bad today. But look, I have been very vocal. I think the Rangers are better in the field when they don't have Josh Young playing third base. Josh definitely has had his moments as an above average fielder. I just think as he gets closer to 30, gets closer to the back end of his career, he's not probably going to be playing third base for too much longer, if I had to guess. I think he is going to probably find himself transitioning to first or to more of a DH role. That would be my thought at this point. Jackson, sweep is auto buy. Sweep is auto buy for sure. Lineup did do well without JJ today. I mean, I don't think there's a correlation by any means, but I do think that the lineup showing up without Josh Young, it's good stuff. Now, go back to Wednesday's game. Wednesday, the Rangers looked pretty bad against the White Sox. They struck out 12 times. No Josh Young. So you kind of saw both ends of the spectrum, right? I think Wednesday, we said it on the show here, they were missing JJ. Today, you had Pederson, you had Langford, you had Duran, you had some dudes showing out, making up for what Josh Young normally brings. It's good stuff. July, Evan Carter's at an 878 OPS. Okay, so you're just going like literal month. I'm just going like last 30 games, last 15 games, last 7 games. Just so we're clear. But that's awesome. That's awesome. 13 Ks for DeGrom, 10-1 victory. Well, we're going prediction here. Okay. All right. That is a bold prediction. Bold prediction. 10-1 Rangers win it tomorrow, and DeGrom has 13 strikeouts. How many innings is DeGrom going with 13 strikeouts, though? I can't imagine DeGrom going more than 5 or 6 if he's striking out 13. That'd be wild. That would be wild. Jungle Cat at first could be a beast. Yeah, I think that might be the play. Now, what do you do with Berger? I've said many times, I think the move next year is you move away from the Foscue, Pederson, double DH thing, and you open up DH to your position players. I really don't want to see them, there's one DH, right? There's a lefty DH, there's a righty DH. I want to see them go away from the dual DH system, leave DH open for guys like Seager, guys like Nimmo, guys like Langford, guys like Josh Young. I don't want to see them waste 2 roster spots on DHs, which is basically what they're doing right now. I know that Foscue is playing some second base right now. I don't really think they love Foscue at second, and we've seen our share of gaffes with Foscue out there playing 2B, but I think next year you go away from double DH. You allow your position players to fill in the DH more often. You don't have Joc Pederson on the roster next year. I mean, the Rangers could pick up his $18.5 million option. I still think at this point that's an overpay. You're really counting on Joc to do exactly what he's done this year. Another year on Joc's body. I just don't know if I want to pony up again at $18.5 million for Joc Pederson. I'd love to know where you guys are at with that. Should the Rangers pick up that option? You let me know. I want to see them, part ways with Joc. It's been great in 2026. It was bad in 5. It's been great in 6, but I don't want to pay $18.5 million for a part-time platoon player. As good as he's been at times against right-handed starters, I don't want to pay $18.5 million for a part-time player. Walcott, absolutely, definitely interested to see what he does the rest of the year. We talked about it last night. Could he be a call-up in September? I think he would have to hit pretty well the rest of the way to get that call. I definitely could see him making the club out of spring training in 27. a la Wyatt Langford in 24. You remember Langford was kind of on the fence. They didn't know if they were going to give him a spot right out of spring training. He went on to hit like 5 or 6 bombs that 24 surprise spring training. And there was really just not even an option to let him go back to the minor leagues, and the rest is history. I do think, Sebastian Walcott is going to get a similar chance. Yeah, Sugi, it shocked me too, but we looked it up before his start. I think it was his last start. We looked it up and we're like, wait, Rock is worse at home than on the road? Yep, sure enough. Sure enough. Let Joc and Burger walk or trade. Can't let Burger walk. Too many years left on Burger's rookie deal. You could trade Burger and get some value out of him. That might be an option in the offseason. It might be an option at this deadline. I don't think they're going to trade Jake Burger at this deadline, but I do think in the offseason it could be more realistic. You really have to decide, what are you going to do at third base? You got Walcott coming up. Walcott should probably be playing shortstop and Seager moving to third. Seager, I know, has been talked about a lot as moving to first, DHing. I just don't think Seager wants to do that right now, and I think he's going to have to do what's best for the team at some point. But look, if they're not going to move Seager off short, I think Walcott is the no-brainer third baseman next year if he is playing well. Obviously, you don't rush him if he's struggling, but I think that makes a lot of sense to move Walcott into that third base spot. Then what do you do with Josh Young? The Rangers, they're going to have some tough decisions in the offseason. It is going to be tough. I put out my video a few days ago, Rose-Colored Rangers. Go check it out. There's guys on the Rangers that we like a lot. I like Jake Burger a lot. He's a great dude. Community advocate, Down syndrome advocate. He's a great guy. But he's league average right now with the offense. You can't tell me that first base is not upgradable. Look, Josh Young at third base. The bat, I don't think is necessarily upgradable, but the defense is. And I just don't know if you want to do another year of Josh Young at third base next year. And so there's options, right? Could you DH him? Could you have him move to first base? I think that is probably preferable at this point. But we'll see what Texas decides to do. I do think, a backup catcher is going to be something that they try and get at the deadline. So Marcus bringing up Austin Wynns. He did have a hit today. I do think they're going to try and upgrade at the deadline over Austin Wynns. That's for sure. Decline Joc's option. He won't be bad as 2025. Yeah, Matt, this is how I feel almost exactly. That's how I feel almost exactly. Like, I do think you've got a good chance that Joc doesn't fall off a cliff next year, but $18.5 million good. 2 words, Jonah Heim. Heim time for the backup catcher. Yeah, you're not obviously playing Heim over Diaz, but with the news about Danny Jansen potentially needing surgery, UCL surgery, right, with the elbow, and then Higgy having elbow issues too. A lot of elbow issues for these catchers, man. I do think that you have, an opportunity to get a solid backup catcher. Look, Jonah Heim, according to Evan Grant, not likely that the Rangers reunite with him. I think Evan mentioned in his live show the other day that there's some people in the organization Jonah Heim kind of rubbed the wrong way with the body language and some of the antics. I could see that. This team does lock in a lot on culture. And, I've kind of told you guys in so many words, sorry about that. Phone is getting a little hot out here in my garage. I told you guys in so many words the other night, I'm not a big fan of prioritizing culture over winning. I'm of the mindset the culture gets better when you're winning naturally. If you're winning games, the culture is typically good. Are there cases where it's a toxic clubhouse even though you're winning? Sure. But by and large, winning covers a multitude of clubhouse sins. And so I'm definitely not chasing culture. I'm chasing wins. And I'm not saying that Jonah Heim, is upgrading you by $1 million, but I'd really like to see the Rangers just go get the best pieces and not necessarily put culture on the pedestal. I want to see the Rangers improve the club and give themselves a chance to make it back to October. Like, you can't constantly be fussing about, man, is this dude the best fit with all our culture? Sometimes you need a guy that rubs people the wrong way a little bit. Like we were talking about this with Dalton Rushing. Like, is Rushing a bit of a punk sometimes? Yeah. Could the Rangers use a little bit of that? I actually think so. Some of you guys agreed with this. Some of you guys had that take immediately. I'm okay with there being like some different types of personalities in the clubhouse. Like, hate him or love him, AJ Przinsky on the broadcast today, you need some AJs in the clubhouse. You can have all your good dudes, but man, I am a big fan of having some different personalities and types of competitors in that clubhouse. The constant fretting over, is this going to fit our culture? Come on, man. Like, worry about getting back to October first and foremost. Culture, definitely a big reason why they gelled, but that was, Hedgie, I think, a big part of that. I think you had other guys like Max Scherzer, bona fide leaders that stepped up, were vocal. I don't think culture doesn't matter, Blake. Don't get it twisted here, my guy, but I don't want to see constant prioritization of culture over improving the team, making moves that actually upgrade positions and aren't just about culture. Look, I definitely feel like you have a number of examples of teams that have won, even though they weren't all, hanging out after games super chummy. Does it help? Yeah, sure. Can you win without everybody being best friends? Yeah, you can. Absolutely, you can. 100%. Look, I definitely was not a fan of the Jonah Heim antics. Like every time the guy popped up, its head goes back, the slow run to first base. I'm like, I don't love it. In fact, I think I made the comment, Corey Seager was kind of getting into the Jonah Heim mannerisms a little bit earlier this year. Felt like Corey, every time he pops up, Corey was starting to do that, the throw the head back in despair. Yeah, I hope Corey comes back and really is a new man whenever he does make it back. I wonder if he is going to be back for Houston. Jordan Montgomery, by the way, he went, I think, 4 innings today, 1 earned run. Monty might be back for Houston, and that is pure cinema, baby. Jordan Montgomery makes his comeback against the Astros. The last time that, of course, he looked truly dominant, I think, was the Astros. In the World Series, he didn't get blown out of the water, but he didn't pitch great in his one World Series start. I mean, look, didn't matter, obviously. But nevertheless, Astros ALCS 2023, probably the last time Montgomery has looked like totally dominant. Man, I sure would love to see him come back and just light it up in Houston. Corey Seager, too. I mean, Corey Seager enjoyed some home runs in that stadium as well. Would love to get Hunter Goodman. I would, too. I just don't think the Rangers are going to pony up. Is there any word that we can get Carter Jensen from the Royals? Well, didn't they dump Diaz because Jensen was going to be the guy? So I don't know if Jensen is even available. I mean, I like Carter Jensen, but I thought the whole reason Elias Diaz got dumped was because of Carter Jensen. So I don't know if that's going to be a possibility. I don't think CY is going to take a big swing at catcher. I know Adley is being thrown out there. Nate, I know you were talking about that. I definitely feel like they need to have a long-term plan. Maybe they think Malcolm Moore's the guy. I'd love to see the Rangers, either at the deadline or in the offseason, address the long-term health, figuratively speaking, the long-term health, the long-term prospect at catcher. Are we rolling with Malcolm Moore? Is he the dude? Do we need to upgrade in the offseason with a guy who is going to be the future? By the way, Malcolm Moore, another thing I picked up from Evan Grant's live the other day, Evan Grant feels that Malcolm Moore is probably not going to be catching long-term. He feels that Malcolm Moore is probably going to get moved at some point. I mean, first base, I would assume, is probably what we're going to be doing there. By the way, Jeff Wilson, x-rays negative on Wyatt Langford. They're going to be doing a lot of icing, and they think that he'll be good to go for tomorrow. I don't see Wyatt Langford playing tomorrow. I'll be shocked. But Jeff Wilson, DLLS, saying that Wyatt's x-rays are negative and he's going to be doing some icing tonight, and Wyatt expects to be fine tomorrow. I don't think they play Wyatt tomorrow, but obviously crisis averted. Absolutely crisis averted there. I don't think he's going to be back for tomorrow's game, though. I would be shocked. Eric, what's good, my guy? Appreciate you hanging out. Yeah, look, good game. Baseball's crazy sometimes, but look, yeah, obviously I'm not bumming after winning the first two of this series. I would love that if Monty can own Yordan Alvarez again. The Alvarez stopper, Jordan Montgomery. I forgot about that for a second. Lord Tubbington, what do we got here? For the people wanting Walcott up in the big leagues, are you sitting Joc so that Walcott can play? That's a good question. I would say probably not. I think you're probably sitting, and this is like maybe if Seager is hurt. If Seager is still not right, I would probably sit Nicky Knox to play Walcott. I'm not bringing Walcott up unless I'm definitely playing him like 6 out of 7 days. I think if you're going to just bring Walcott up to ride the bench, that's probably not worth it. Right? But if Seager is still hurt, maybe you have Walcott slide over, play some shortstop. I don't think you make Walcott play second base. That would be me. I mean, I don't know exactly what the plan would be, but that's probably what I'm doing. As much as I love Nicky Lopez, I'm probably sliding him back into a bench role, a 2 or 3 starts a week role, and coming into games and causing mayhem late, like that kind of stuff. Is he not able to play the field? He's not playing the field at all the rest of the year? Is that the update? I mean, I know he's recovering from the UCL surgery, so he's just DHing the rest of the year. They've been super clear on that. If that's the case, then yeah, doesn't make a lot of sense to bring him up, does it? Doesn't make a lot of sense there at all. Patrick, appreciate the gifts, man. Not needed, much appreciated, brother. What jersey should you buy? Let's ask the chat. What jersey would you buy? I have a certain approach here with jerseys, by the way, and it doesn't always work out. Shoot, look at, I don't even want to bring it up. Look at Luka Doncic, man. You buy a Luka jersey, you're thinking, man, this dude's going to be around here until 2035, baby. And he gets traded in February, a couple years back. It's so hard. I think you couldn't go wrong with Wyatt, though. You couldn't get really too far off base with Wyatt Langford. Evan Carter, yes, but I do think there is a little risk with Carter. A little risk. If you're just going like staying power, I think there's a small risk of either he gets traded or he potentially gets sent down or benched or something of that nature. I'd probably go Wyatt Langford if you're looking for the safest buy. Luka was the last jersey you got. Oh, man. I mean, if we're talking Mavericks, yeah, Flag for sure. Definitely Cooper Flag if you're talking Mavericks. Can't Berger play third? Dalton, I don't think you're moving Berg to third. We were kind of talking about this a week or two ago. I think there's a reason they moved Berger off of third base. I think there's a reason that happened. So I'm probably not moving Berger back to third. Look, next year, I'm probably having Walcott play third. I don't think Seager's going to move off shortstop, and I think the club is going to walk a tightrope with him to try and keep him happy. Maybe they trade him, but I don't see it happening. And by the way, next year, Seager, the no trade clause, pretty much fully kicks in, right? So I don't see Seager moving off shortstop next year. I'd be really surprised. I do think you could move Walcott to third. I think you might have to make a trade. Look, who was it? I want to go back to this comment. Let me see if I can scroll back up a little while here. Oh, Matt, and Matt, you know I appreciate you, brother. I'm not saying this to get on you, but the people that are suggesting, myself included, to trade Jake Burger, I think what you have to keep in mind is this: like, we're not in an age where RBI is ruling everything, right? I mean, Adolis Garcia had a healthy RBI total last year. I don't know what the number is off the top of my head, but I would caution making decisions off of RBI. RBI has a lot to do with where you hit in the order. Jake Burger hits with the Rangers' best hitters in front of him, right? I would caution us making decisions off of how many RBI does a guy have. That would not be my first preference. And obviously, we know that Jake Burger is leading the team in home runs. But let's put that in perspective, right? You've got guys around the league with much more home run than Jake Burger at this point. I mean, Adolis Garcia last year had 75 RBI. He had 85 RBI the year before. Like, I mean, look, I think Burger is going to probably get into the 80s or 90s this year. I don't know that Berg gets to 100 RBI, but I just don't think you can base decisions off that. I think you're going to look at the WRC plus. You're going to look at things of that nature, the OPS. I don't think Burger is some untouchable. I think Burger's a great dude. I like cheering for Jake Burger. I don't think Burger is untouchable, regardless of the fact that he leads the team in home run and RBI. I think if you gave the at-bats to another player that you maybe hypothetically acquire, you give those Burger at-bats to, let's say a Walcott, you give those Burger at-bats to someone else up and coming on the team. Shoot, even if you put Evan Carter in that spot, which he kind of is in that 5-hole, right? You're going to get more RBI opportunities naturally. I like Jake Burger a lot. I know this is going to, anytime you suggest trade this guy, it comes across like I hate the player. I don't hate Jake Burger. How could you hate Jake Burger? You'd have to be certifiably insane to hate that man, dude. He is a saint. Like, by all accounts, Jake Burger is a saint. But if we're talking just business here, Jake Burger is a replaceable player. He's right around league average with the WRC plus. Last year was not a great year for Burger. Burger is still controllable. I think that's another thing you have to keep in mind is, like, what are the contracts for these guys? Burger's a controllable asset. You've got, I think, 3 years left with Burger before he hits unrestricted free agency. It's a good evaluation period. Really good evaluation period next year with a number of these guys. JJ's got, I think, 3 years left, 27, 28, 29. There's going to be some interesting decisions. Really is. Hey, Lord Tubbington, appreciate it. Everybody always comments that I'm a lot more tame on Instagram. I always will get the comments. Dude, your Instagram, your TikTok is so much different than Facebook and then X. And yeah, I kind of let it rip a little bit more on X, honestly. So if you don't follow me over on X or over on Threads or Facebook, I recommend it. You just get my natural reaction all the time. My Instagram and my TikTok, it's a little more polished. I basically just have my reels that I produce each day. But yeah, if you want just like totally unfiltered right on Rangers, follow over on X or on Threads or on Facebook. You get just the genuine reactions that you would get if you were watching a game with me. Right. I think I wish more people got that too, by the way. I think some of you guys, as you hang out with me in these lives, you get it. Like, I want my X page and I want my Facebook page, my Threads page to be just, if you were watching a game with me, what would I be saying? I wouldn't be sitting there trying to be measured, professional. I would be just letting it rip, just telling you exactly how I feel. And you know what? Sometimes the reactions are wrong. They're over the top. And sometimes they're spot on. Honestly, it just depends on the day, right? But go follow me over there. It's worth it. I think you'll enjoy it. Langoliers would be incredible. Don't get my hopes up about this, my guy. Good to see you as always. Appreciate you, brother. the comment, by the way, it says, let's go get Langoliers and Scooble and win it all, baby. I would love if we got Bangaliers and Tarek freaking Scooble. I feel like that would make me think World Series contender. Now, news is already coming out. Cubs are going all in for Scooble. Dodgers are going all in for Scooble. I don't think the Rangers are winning a Tarek Scooble bidding war. I really don't. Nate, thank you. Thank you, my guy. Look, it helps if you actually interact with the live shows and you get a feel for what I'm like. I don't want to say in real life because obviously we're talking through the screen right now, but like I know it's helpful to have that context when you're interacting with me on some of the other socials. But Nate, I appreciate that, man. And I appreciate you, brother. Go trade Berger for a righty reliever in the offseason. Think what they did with Nate Lowe. They traded Nate Lowe for Robert Garcia. I know that's a bad word in some households, but you know, I think that is probably the blueprint. Is you trade Berger for a controllable relief pitcher or a starting pitcher. I think that probably is the way. Buy low option that won't happen. Yeah, Salvi Perez isn't going anywhere, Ethan. Look, I love Salvador Perez, Royals catcher. I don't think there's any way they're dealing that, man. I don't think there's any way that's happening. Brody, no, we're not. Hey, Brody, I got your comment today. Don't say that your comment has to be better for me to acknowledge, buddy. You got it right here. What else did I miss? Did you have something else? Let me know if I missed another one of your questions, my guy. I appreciate you. Thanks for coming to hang out. Robert, kind of. Astros and Mariners catching up, kind of. Astros more than the Mariners. Mariners feel like they're fading just a little bit, but I've got to think the Mariners catch a hot streak at some point. I really do. Anthony, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Brody, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for hanging out. I'm trying to be better, man. I've got way too much going on at one time when I do these shows. Please forgive me in advance. Literally, we go live on TikTok, X, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. My Instagram people, if anybody's on Instagram right now, looks like there's a few of y'all. I'm about to flip over to Instagram right now. Prospect Times. Heck yeah. Prospect Times is on Instagram watching right now. This is perfect. Do we go for it and make a big trade if we think we'll miss a portion of the season next year? That is the big question. That's why I kind of think that the rentals maybe make a little more sense, like the half-season rentals. Because if you're getting a guy that's like a year and a half controllable, right? Like contract expires at the end of 2027. If you go get the half-season rentals, that works out a little bit better so you don't have that uncertainty. But Prospect Times, I actually want to know what you think about this. I know you keep it pretty professional, and you do a great job, by the way. You guys need to go follow Prospect Times if you don't. Prospect Times is on TikTok, on Instagram, X. Go follow Prospect Times. They do some great work over there. I appreciate you, man. I actually really want to know what you think of this. If you're still hanging out, type it in. What do we do this year? Are we burning some prospects on half-season rentals? Who are we definitely not trading no matter what? I know Walcott's probably an untouchable in a lot of people's minds. I do think the Rangers should probably not deal him this deadline just based on everything that's going down. I think you want to have Walcott for next year. I think we've discussed Scarborough as maybe a guy that you could stomach parting with. Prospect Times, if you're still hanging out, let us know. Let us know. Appreciate all y'all hanging out. Gio, where you been? Dude, it's been a while. Or maybe I've just been clueless. I mean, look, Brody and I were going back and forth about that earlier. It's very possible I missed one of your comments at some point, man. But Gio, it is good to see you, man. Gio, where's like the deep dive stats though? Gio, you normally always are bringing us like the hidden gem deep dive stat of the day. I'm counting on you, man. You still got a little bit of show left. I'm counting on you, brother. The worst thing they could do is nothing. Jerry, this might be the gold comment of the night. I could not agree more with this comment. I couldn't agree more. I would hate to see the Rangers do nothing. I know there's a lot of people, stand pat, stand pat. Please don't. Please don't stand pat. Don't let Joc Pederson, for example, potentially walk for nothing, right? I mean, look, I'm not saying trade Joc, but you need to explore the expiring contracts. You need to explore them. You also need to think about potentially trying to get better this year to have a shot in October. Like, I think the Rangers can get to October this year. Doing nothing to me would be the most ill-advised thing you could do. Like, you're not even going to entertain what teams might be willing to offer you for Joc Pederson. And the reason I bring up Joc is because, look, at the end of the day, Joc is a halftime player. He's not playing every day. He's not. And so I think Joc has given you a lot of good this year. I'm not hating on the guy, but he's a part-time player. You go up against a couple lefties in the playoffs, and he's sitting the bench. I wouldn't mind them exploring a trade for Joc Pederson. Then in the second half, your DH spot is open. You can have Nimmo DH. You can have Corey Seager DH. And then that opens up a place for Luis Arraez. Lord Tubbington says, I really want Luis Arraez. I'd love Arraez. If you deal Joc Pederson, now you can have Corey Seager DH. You can have Luis Arraez DH. It opens things up a little bit, in my opinion. I do want Arraez, Zach. I do. I know some people are like kind of but I want Luis Arraez for sure. And Luis Arraez plays every day. Joc Pederson doesn't play every day. That's kind of the other argument with Arraez that people have brought up is like, so wait, Austin, you want to trade Joc Pederson and then you want to go get Luis Arraez? Like, isn't that kind of a pointless move? No, because Luis Arraez plays every day. Joc Pederson doesn't. And if you trade Joc and you go get Arraez, you've opened things up on your roster. You're no longer tied to having one DH against a righty starter. Luis Arraez is playing a great second base right now. You could easily have Arraez play second base. You don't even have to have Arraez DH. In fact, I'd rather have Corey Seager DH and have Luis Arraez play second because Ron Washington has that man looking like a Gold Glover. So for me, I'm not even necessarily just sliding Arraez mindlessly into the DH spot. We keep rolling. Let's see. What do I got on TikTok here? Would I give up Walcott for Skubal? Brian, no. I'm not giving up Walcott for a half-season rental. I'm not doing it. I would be willing to trade Scarborough for Skubal and maybe Santos. Shoot, I would probably trade Santos, Corniel, and Scarborough to get Tarek Skubal. Maybe some major league talent as well. But I am not trading Walcott for a half-season rental. If I'm trading Walcott, again, I make a comparison to the Padres trading for Juan Soto. If I am trading one of my best prospects, you know, the Padres obviously traded Wood, they traded Gore, they traded Hamill, they traded a number of top prospects. If I'm trading my top prospect, I'm getting back a controllable player. I mean, look, Alvarez, Bobby Witt, Lord Tubbington, I'm with you on this. I'm with you on this. We keep rolling. The way Walcott is hitting right now, I wouldn't trade him for anyone. Nope. Gio, here we go. Rangers have won 12 straight one-run games, with the last time the Rangers lost in a one-run game came against the Astros May 27th. Rangers winning big feels great. It does feel great. Gio, I knew you were going to come through. I knew you were coming through with one of these stats, man. Always bringing the fire with the statistics. Love you, my guy. Appreciate it. Rangers definitely are having some, I would say, good results and a little bit of good fortune in one-run games. And that is the Skip Schumacher special. You go back to his 2023 playoff year with Miami. He won like 34 one-run games and only lost like 13. It was wild. What about getting Chapman back? if they can pull it off. But again, I don't want to trade anybody crazy. And the Red Sox are a playoff team. I don't really think they're going to deal Chappie. I don't see that happening. Question for the class: excluding our all-star closer in Lats, who has the best ERA on the team currently? Let's see. Is it Peoples? Is it Peoples? Like, we're talking qualified or unqualified, right? No innings. I'm going off the cuff here. Peoples has got to be down there. Maybe I'm wrong. Junis, I think is a little higher than Peoples. I think Peoples brought it down. Peyton Gray has an ERA in the 3s. It's Peoples. Yes, sir. Yay me. Pat on the back. Peoples. Who would have thought? Jacob Latz and Ben Peoples. Somebody would have asked you in surprise in spring training, who are going to be the 2 ERA leaders in your bullpen? I think absolutely 0 people would have said Ben Peoples, who wasn't even on the team, and Jacob Latz. I said it on the live during the game, man. I think that he's going to be a little more 7th inning bridge guy. I think him and Peyton Gray, you got to give them the 7th inning bridger to Junis and Latz. Freddie Peralta, what's he doing right now? What's Freddie doing right now? Freddie Peralta, come on now. What are the stats? 5.01 ERA. Ethan, he better have a really good, last 7 starts with a 5.01 ERA. I mean, I know you said buy low. You said buy low. What's that contract, though? Ethan, he has been bad. He just gave up 7 runs to the Brewers 5 days ago. Woof. What am I getting on a contract on this guy? I mean, I know you said buy low, but it feels like we're buying really low. 5-year contract. $8 million option. No way. 5 year. Oh, come on. 5 years. He's good until 2027. So he's a half-season rental. All right, he's a half-season rental. Now I'm piecing it all together. I don't know. Yeah, I'd be a little... If it was Mike Maddox, I might say, yeah, sure. I don't know if Jordan Teagues, with what Jordan Teagues has done with Gore, I can't say I'm feeling great about Teagues fixing a pitcher coming in. I haven't been able to get a good feel on this. Has anybody been at a game when Latz comes out for the introduction? Has anybody seen it? I mean, be honest. Don't be biased. How good is it? I got to be real. Social media, I'm not bad, but not wowing me. But I understand things are different in person. Give me an honest. Give me a 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10. Give me something. It doesn't feel like Mason Miller level. Mason Miller, we talked about this. Mason Miller's introduction is a 10 out of 10 for me. Corn, blind, the lights, the drop, right? I think that is a 10 out of 10. And so for me, if Mason Miller is a 10 out of 10 and what his introduction is, Jacob Latz, 6.5, 6. And look, I don't want to be negative. I think it's awesome that they're doing a show for him. And I think Latz got to pick the song. And so obviously it's not like the team all the way that you can say, man, they got to be doing better. I think Jacob Latz picked the song. I do feel like it's trailing behind some of the other ones. Needs better music. What could we do to get Mason Miller? Now, Mason Miller is probably one of those that you maybe consider feeling a little bit better about trading Walcott for. I'm still not saying do it, but at least with Miller, you're getting multiple years of control. At least with Miller, you're getting that. However, I hesitate to trade a player that's maybe going to play every day for me for a guy that is only going to be pitching in the 9th inning. That's tough. That is tough. Ethan, you might be right. I wonder if there's going to be takers on Peralta. mean, like you said, it's buy low, but I feel like you're buying really low, my guy. Like really low. Sunday, tomorrow, let's preview it real quick. Appreciate you guys. This has been a great show. DeGrom tomorrow. DeGrom, by the way, against Seattle. Let's go back to the Seattle starts that DeGrom has thrown out there this year. So we go back, about a month or so here? Let's get this game log loaded. Come on now. DeGrom against Seattle earlier this year. I thought he did. Yeah, he did. April 17th, 4 innings, no earned runs. April 6th. So, yeah, that's right. He pitched back-to-back almost against them. It was like Seattle, Dodgers, Seattle again. So, Jacob DeGrom, 9 innings against the Mariners this year, 5 innings and then 4 innings, 1 earned run. So, he's actually been pretty solid, although Seattle's done a good job of making him work. I think that's the other way to think about it. So, he's thrown 166 pitches in 9 innings. I mean, that's putting it in perspective for you. DeGrom has pitched 9 innings against Seattle this year, and he's thrown 166 pitches. Imagine that for a complete game. 166 complete game. My goodness. I mean, if it was Nolan Ryan, it's no problem. By the way, Nolan Ryan, the anniversary of him, the 27-year anniversary of Nolan Ryan inducted into the Cooperstown Hall of Fame. Nolan Ryan, a Rangers legend, no doubt. Still cool, so cool to me. Only pitched 5 years with Texas and decided to put the Rangers on the Hall of Fame plaque. I know, like, for most people, that just feels right. But, I mean, look, he pitched for Houston. He pitched for the Mets. He pitched for the Angels. He pitched for some teams longer than the Rangers. I think it's really cool. I don't take it for granted that he picked Texas. I know today a lot of people are like, dude, that just makes too much sense. But still, Nolan Ryan had a lot of good years pitching for other clubs. And he pitched for Texas on the very back 9 of his career. I love that Nolan is the first Ranger to don that cap on his Hall of Fame plaque, man. I think that is so cool. And it was fun going down memory lane, looking at the Nolan Ryan highlights last night as I was putting together that video that I posted. I didn't post it on YouTube. This is another Instagram, not even on Instagram, Threads, Facebook, X. That's why you got to go follow over there. Charles, appreciate you, man. We're about to wrap things up. Thanks so much for hanging out. How many times Seattle didn't challenge today? Brian, I didn't notice, but shoot. I feel like there's been a lot of growing pains with the challenge system this year. That is for sure. All right, back to DeGrom versus Gilbert. DeGrom against the Mariners. Randy Arozarena, 0 for 13. Canzone, 1 for 5. Crawford. Where is Crawford? Is he hurt? Is he not playing? I don't know if we have any Mariners fans still hanging out. Is Crawford just not playing right now, or is he injured? Like, I feel like we haven't seen him all series, or maybe I've just been like an idiot. He's 220 with 10 bombs. He started today. Again, I guess I'm just an idiot. Like, I was doing a ton of stuff around the house, admittedly, but man, Crawford was hurt. He was at third base today. So he didn't play yesterday, played third base today. Okay, fair enough. Emerson, no hits, had no at-bats. Crawford, by the way, 3 for 12 with the homer off DeGrom. Lefties, man. DeGrom's the lefties are the kryptonite for him this year. So Crawford, got to look out for him. Kennedy, no at-bats. Naylor, 1 for 6. Cal Raleigh, 1 for 11, but does have a homer. I think that was actually earlier this year, right? DeGrom had that epic, 11-pitch at-bat with Cal Raleigh, and finally he just, threw one right down the pipe, and Cal smoked it down the right field line for a homer. I remember that one. Raley, 1 for 7. Robles looks like 4 for 21. 6 for 21, excuse me. Rodriguez, J-Rod, 6 for 15, 400 batting average, 1 bomb. So got to look out for J-Rod. Got to look out for Crawford tomorrow. Garver, 2 for 2 with 2 bombs. I'm glad that I brought up Garv Sauce. Man, I feel like Garb was a little chilly today in the in-game interview. Did anybody else feel that? Garb sauce was just a little chilly today, man. They asked him about 2023 and he kind of gave like the one-word answer, man. I know he gave a little bit more, but he was like, yeah, we had a good, they were like, oh, what's it like being back here, 2023, special memories. And Garb was kind of like, yeah, we had some great teams here. And you're like, dude, that's it? What? Come on, man. I know you're losing a ball game. I know the in-game interviews kind of suck. I'm not a huge fan of the in-game interviews. I'm sorry. We can agree to disagree. I don't feel like, they always add a whole lot. Sometimes you get good stuff. I'm not going to lie and say like it always sucks, but I know in-game interviews aren't everybody's favorite, but man, did you have an option to say no? I feel like Garb could have easily not like gone on forever, but could have given a little more. I feel like Garb didn't even do bare minimum in that interview. Like if it's me, I'm like, yeah, man, it's great to be back here. I love playing in Arlington. It was amazing winning a World Series, and there's still a ton of great dudes across from that 2023 team. It's been awesome seeing them again. Obviously, I want to kick their butts this weekend, playing them in a big division rivalry here. But man, I'm never going to forget the time I had here in Arlington. How hard would it have been to do that, man? Dude needs to hire me as his publicist. Seriously. I just didn't understand the chilliness there with Garver. Like kind of the standoffishness. Didn't make a lot of sense to me. And Matt, look, your Garver was not like incredible. Like every single time he came up to bat, it wasn't like, the dude was hitting a bomb, but he had some pretty nice moments for us, especially in the playoffs. Obviously won it all with us. Had a big hit in the World Series with us as well. I don't know. I felt he was a little chilly. All right, let's keep going. We're going to wrap up with Texas versus Gilbert here. Jake Berger should be back in the lineup tomorrow, 4 for 11 with 2 RBI against Logan Gilbert. Evan Carter, 2 for 17 against Gilbert. Yikes. Maybe bat Carter a little lower than 5th tomorrow. Cam Cauley, Elias Diaz, Justin Foscue, no ABs. Ezequiel Duran, 1 for 11. Where are the good guys here? Okay, Wyatt Langford, 4 for 16. Nicky Knox, 3 for 10. Brandon Nimmo, 2 for 11 with 2 homers. Brandon Nimmo had a leadoff homer last time they played. I think it was April 17th. Last time they played Seattle and Gilbert was on the mound. It was in Seattle, and Brandon Nimmo led off the game with the home run. So hopefully that can happen again. You have Alejandro Osuna, 1 for 2. Joc Pederson, 313 batting average against Logan Gilbert and 16 ABs. We'll take that. Smitty, 3 for 24. Not awesome from Smitty there. Man, I was hoping Smitty would come up and do a job today. He's really in need of having a good little run here with Josh Young on the injured list. I'm a little worried if Smitty doesn't get it done, man. He feels like destined to toil in AAA and maybe get traded. I feel like he has got to do something special up here. Got to. And then Austin wins. 0 for 2. 0 for 2, Austin wins. First Rangers hit today, though. Good for him. Hey, appreciate all you guys. We're getting off for the night. Going to go hang out with the fam, get a little bite to eat. Love y'all. Appreciate you hanging. Thank you so much for the comments. A couple people gave gifts. Not needed, much appreciated. But thank you so much for all the ways you support the show. We'll have a video out to you guys tomorrow morning. Game is at 1:35, I believe, Texas time. We'll be back 8th or 9th inning once again to hopefully be talking about a Rangers series win. That'll be the plan. We're sticking to it. Hope to see you tomorrow. If not, maybe we'll catch you on Monday or Tuesday. We'll be live pretty much all week long ahead. Big series coming up. Rays, Astros, trade deadline. It's going to be good stuff. And I hope you'll join us. Thank you for all you guys do to support the show once again. And as I always say to end every show, God bless. Go Rangers. Appreciate you, my guy. Thank you so much.